Ekosiisen dwumadi no asogo so a otie no yɛda mu nyina sɛ matwen yɛn ama yakɔ aba mini de ɔsɛibon so make say honorable Ghartey ono a minister for railway development, member of parliament Esikado Keten constituency in the western region and no aiding komo yɛhwɛ the sector railway sector any impuntu a ɛkɔ some of the new things because wama yehu a project omu inherited your one kasa so introduce any said nyoma esi ekoni nyina part of a big railway master plan. Honorable ye twaso a yaka mpakadan yaka the western rail line wama yehu the Kumasi one ni nyina ebebom because me step out no be frame make I say me musa say the Wagadugu project no wakase Sempakadan the anywhere more to Paga.
Yes.
And then from Pagano, the Burkina Faso government would continue 200 kilometers into Burkina Faso.
Yes.
Sanity.
Yes.
Okay. In Pakadan the end Pagano, a far areas, but a far Oti region and
yes.
And a Moti region.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We are going to Paga in 2 ways.
Okay.
Yeah, for Kumasi, yes, for Sian, yes, for Techiman. You could do Tamale.
Okay.
Line Korea, Pakadanzi, or start from Japon, or for Hohoi, or for Sura to Yendi.
Okay.
Or to Yendi will be a junction. Right, Oboko Sheni, which is near the Togo border.
Okay.
Then left, we go to Tamale.
Okay.
Then we keep share line of Kumasi Soba.
Oh, now we go share Kumasi the no.
And then from then, it will proceed up north. The distance from Tema to Wagadugu is about, it's about 1,000 kilometers. But from Tema to Paga is about 800 kilometers. The distance from Accra to Kumasi is 303 kilometers. You have 300.
Yeah.
And the distance from Kumasi, Bebeyebafan to Wagadugu is also above 600 kilometers. You have also about 900 kilometers.
Okay.
And so what is happening? The president insisted on a policy that must pass through every regional capital. Every regional capital must be served with
by the rail line.
Into a branch line is Boko. Into branch line we go to Dambai and a branch line we go to Ho. Ho say as if for through Ho it will be too expensive because of the hilly nature of Ho. The average price per kilometer between 5 and 6 point something to say, but Ojuho area now because of hilly nature, Okobe $9 million per kilometer.
$9 million per kilometer.
Yes, but
of rail line.
Yes, but all the same.
Wow.
But the price is about between 5 and 6, 7, normal.
Okay.
But all the same, the president insisted, and cabinet said that every regional capital must be served. So we'll go to Ho.
Okay.
We'll go to Dambai. We'll go to Yendi. We'll go to Tamale. Then we proceed up north. We'll go to the capital of Northeast. We'll go to the capital of Upper East. And the one coming from Kumasi, so there'll be a branch line to Goso.
Okay.
You see, what is happening in there, what I'm making in there, as far as the Tema-Pakadan line is concerned, you use, for the remainder, you use BOT, Build, Operate and Transfer.
Okay.
You're in Burkina Faso government, you're in Wanabo. And we were working on it. You are complete, by February this year, we had our last meeting in Bogatanga. By that time, 14 companies that was started, they were paid there. 1 year, and the worker 3, shortlist 3. So we're ready to go for the final COVID. In fact, interesting thing in there, Yankopo no say me, and I want to meeting with Burkina, Burkina from Okroba, a bloom The Ghana, make a musician, the Ghana team is it. We are covered by the blood of Jesus. That one, no. So what is happening there? We have a virtual meeting with the Burkina team next week, I believe.
Okay.
And we will issue the last process. And so by next year, early next year, we should have the person who is joining us to build the line.
The line from Mpakadan to...
So the next 4 years, I'm very confident there from Mpakadan, from Japon, not from Mpakadan.
Yeah.
From Japon to Paga, we would have finished
that would be done. Okay.
Then
now also Western,
the Western in America, the Western, then CCR, me you can say, because as a Hini Kawa, about 400 kilometers. Now you see almost half of it in. We are looking for strategic investor. Is in common from Germany and from South Africa. What we do, you complete the gap.
The gap.
From Huni Valley to Boise.
To Obuasi, that
and
gap.
then from Duko to Awaso.
Okay.
And then there's a branch line, 73 kilometers from Duko to Awaso. But what has even brought urgency about the railway line there? Kupon Bibi Abe or there than I see there. As the President Kufuor Abe there, he developed bauxite industry, iron and all that. Because, Chief, over the last I don't know how many years, since before independence, last 100 years, we don't develop anything in Ghana. BBI export is possible. No, let's add value. Without railway, we can't do it. And the Jade Kuso, they have a gun to my head, and I've given us timelines. Internet, quickly, here.
And Jidek no would need the Kumasi line, the Western line.
They will need the Western line. They will also need a line, the central spine. Central line here from from Huni Valley to Kotoku.
Okay.
Because, and they will need a line from Kotoku to Accra. They need both lines. There's a Western tail. Let me reverse. Pocho. At independence, we had 947 kilometers of line. Western line, Sekendi, Takoradi to Kumasi, with a branch line to Awaso. 340 kilometers.
Okay.
Eastern line, Accra Tema to Kumasi, with a branch line. It was first from Tema. It was first from Accra to Kumasi, with a branch line to Tema. Then the central line, which was from Kotoku to Huni Valley. That line was opened in 1956, a year before independence. All joined the two lines. Now, what the Jadakfu are saying is that they need all the lines. Or saying what for own fee, they may want to bring it to Tema. And say you can't just do the Western line. They need all the lines. And the Eastern line. So the important thing about the Eastern line, only Bonkra Inland Port.
Yes.
Bonkra never dies. As a transport means, the Bonkra also never dies. My actually, only the state we came to meet the railway in 2000.
The state of the railway line
2017.
in 2017
in Cantonment. Now, we co-host before, and I there. Railway po, yes, we negotiated people out of Ekosiisen. You won't see these people there.
It is when you hope you are.
When you hope you.
Cantonment way yana.
When you hope
Na cycle hane.
Oh, we've negotiated people away from the line.
When you now wait for you.
We've negotiated that they've taken some of our land, but they no longer trade on the line.
Yeah.
But if the Achimota Martin rubbish no nazi. And so every month for me personally, I don't have most satisfaction over the.
In the Mawaye CCA,
what
them Cantamanto na cycle hano and say would yeah me patch over Facebook ube videos honorable Jogate can wasem where the state of the railway cycle the any. Hey, no, that close to the line.
They were trading on the line, close to the line, training in Choma.
And a train nearby.
Training in Choma, then they move their umbrella, then they come back. Then the funny thing in the regional training do now, hey, now Minister, no call Mr. Baba, Joe, that's how it looks like today. We've changed it completely. Now, Mr. T, they make a yebu to one. Oh, what's your red? Oh, what office?
Yeah.
Na kakakra ye won din komo ye kro kantomato ye won kidin komo mada wanasi mada kantomato wo leaders and then bese for kantomato mada wanasi because ye quietly bi ati enka na nje wa yima cooperator nje by this time afia police for ambem ebiara ambem ye won kase won will control won crofo and won will catch won crofo movie from the line because
in them line, or a part of which line?
This is the Accra Kumasi line.
Where Accra to Kumasi.
Yes.
Because now me baby busa say president idea and they say rail line and serve all regional capitals.
Yes.
Accra there, Cape Coast, Koforidua. Which lines no more benefit?
Well, Koforidua will benefit from the Bonkra line.
Okay.
The Eastern line, Ofi Tema, Ofi Koforidua, Ofi Samu Koforidua.
Okay.
And our Babak, and San our Bonkra and our Kumasi.
Okay.
Now, also, we went through a procurement process. On no line, and our thinking was that, yes, on a BOT basis with government participation, government having 30%. Now, I like that line for two reasons. First of all, because I love the Minister of Transport. I mean, the guy who Bonkra say Bonkra never dies. Some academy because I want to assure it's part of the process.
Yeah.
Secondly, when maybe a minister and I make a on BOT, build operation transfer. Around the world, what's the moon to me? You to me here. I mean, I preach South Africa. How can you do railway But nobody's interested. Yes, we started 100 companies were interested. Cut it down to 5 through the process. 5 in the one we awarded the contract to. Out of the 5, in second one said no, we should have given it to him rather, them rather. Mura, I'm a lawyer. I'm not worried if you disagree with my decision. And since PPA, this order there, the last stage bill. Yacho Ministry of Finance, Yacho PPA, then we are going to do it.
Okay.
5 companies working. One cent will be bra. The Ministry of Finance will take the lead because if you're a public financial management actor, section 33 and section 96, any BBI which is multi-year, more than 1 year, we need permission from Ministry of Finance.
From the Ministry of Finance.
So since we are letting Ministry of Finance take the lead role, it's also by next year we should start the road to Kumasi.
To Kumasi. It's
very important.
That's the Accra to Kumasi.
That's the eastern line.
Okay. On and over for them cycle hard through.
Yes.
Achimotana.
Thank you. No after through in Saum. No after Kofodra.
Yeah.
No after no after Bonkra. No after.
Na
Ejuso. Konongo Ejuso Nazena.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. In John, hopefully next year that one will start.
It has to start. There's a procurement process. We've ended. They asked for a review. Is undergoing the review.
Okay.
The review is we must finish the review this year, and then we sign the contract. Maybe next year. Yes.
And what it means, there's a measure. All the regional capitals, at least all of them are covered. Save maybe Cape Coast. Cape Coast, they were in.
Okay. There's a line. Thank you that you asked me about it. There's a line which is from Elubo to Aflao. It's called the coastal line, over 500 kilometers, 540 kilometers.
Rail liner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeda. Okay. And we are not above. They did 947. That's where they ended.
Okay.
We are doing over 3,600. We are not. Okay. They started it. Above was started in 1898. We were in 1956. 1898 to 1956.
They did
947 kilometers. 56 plus 2 years, 58. It's 58 years. They did 947 kilometers. After that, no new railway was built until 2012, when the Mills Mahama government built 15.6
kilometers.
8 years. They didn't even finish in the 8 years. So it finished in August 2017.
Okay.
The Akufo-Addo government, what is being constructed now, under construction, and contracts that have been signed, is getting to about 300 kilometers in 4 years. And I'm telling you by the end of President Akufo-Addo's term, because I believe in 2020, I strongly believe in that. I'm going to vote for him. At the end of his 8-year term, he would have built more than the British built in 58 years. In 8 years. That shows the focus on the railway sector. Because, Chief, sometimes...
But the other question will be, there's currently there are over 300 kilometers
it's being
at war, Yeah. 100 plus out of that, Tema Mpakadan.
It's not 100 plus, it's 97. 97
sorry.
Yeah.
In the 96 out of that, the Tema Mpakadan.
Yes.
Oh no, the NDC would argue there. It's their project. I want to assign when you're alone, and everything.
Oh, it's Professor Amiyankuvi's project. That's why I have a problem with Professor Amiyankuvi. I've told you about project cycle. He finished up to feasibility, started looking for the money. He made the moves, and then you came to power. You continued. When you continue, you signed. Ghartey. I could have gone to cabinet and told them that because of Akosombo line, there were people who were arguing that in the India money, STX, it was signing contract with Parliament, and then we'll see her. Yes, so I've been in Parliament, to sign a contract in Parliament doesn't mean anything. It's part of the process, it's the commencement. And I'm telling you there, Emmy, in Chamoko, cabinet, make a catch on there. Chief, you follow there, you best say Akosombo. It's the Yefa Indian full scam, and then Yefa line, Yefa Western region. Or some if you West and Yefa Kumasa. I don't think that people have argued. Let me tell you something. My colleagues in cabinet have been very supportive. We feel they were difficult as in a mayor. So I don't usually face opposition.
Okay.
Most of the time. So I could have done that. So if you tell me that whole project, I had the chance to kill the project. I didn't. Because for me, it's not about BBA fee. We are developing Ghana or a Ghana project. And so being there, all the different lines too will be developed. And see, if you argue that way, I will not agree to that argument. Akufo-Addo commenced it. The lines that have been commenced in Akufo-Addo said 1947, they were thinking in the British time, they were thinking about things. So if they thought about something in British time and they started making moves, or general colonial project, we should stop this. And that's why I keep on saying the railway, we should stop politicizing railway, because railway, my British will see 100 years ago, there's some which is there. President Akufo-Addo will build some of the railway line. He will go, and somebody else, hopefully another MPP president, will continue. Let me tell you something. There were 4 trains in Ghana. 4 new trains in Ghana. Goko Zimbi, we put Ghana flag. 2 were Accra, around Accra Tema. And the 2 were offended, or secondary. More Accra, because the line collapsed in Achimota. Yes, my line no collapse in Achimota. I could really. And the railway companies was in there. More secondary was by Accra. I want more railway worker, concerned railway worker. Also, you want to bring John Mahama's train to Accra? How can it be John Mahama's train? President Akufo-Addo is buying 35 trains. John Mahama bought 2. John Mahama knows 2 in 8 years. President Akufo 2. President Akufo-Addo is buying 35 trains. Is it Akufo-Addo's trains? No. It's Ghana's trains. So let us stop making that argument. We should be happy and proud. The British, for 58 years, Ghana for. Within 8 years, it will be there. Now, then, in addition to that, in Pochomba, we have come to the conclusion that we are not going to only use foreign contractors. Chief, asphalt, and the asphalt, so do contractors. If I remember right, that was the first Ghanaian company on asphalt. Or Accra to Sao. Me myself see after champ on the time. Me myself see if this is asphalt, I brought phone away. CP, they and bring a Japanese phone away. Cape Coast. It's all true, baby. The market president now he's always been telling us that, Master, not only in this sector, in Ghana beyond aiding, it also means relying on yourself. So I wrote to Ghana Railway Company Limited that they should tell me the companies that they have dealt with in the past 20 years, Ghanaian company, because you want companies that war capacity Accra. And I want 3 companies, David Walter, and the second one is Jesmo. And see, Kumasi lining, David Walter is doing the first 17 kilometers. And I just so you have signed MOU with him to do from Secondary Takoradi to Shama. Where the free zone is. Okay. Because without railing, it will reduce the economic viability of the free zone. One of our policy decisions is that everywhere there's free zone, the must go there. Into Dawa, for example, where there's a private free zone enclave, they've written to us and we want to take a line there. We are using Ghanaian entrepreneurs now. We are going to build more than the British built in 8 years. Yeah. A friend of mine went to Sierra Leone. They are asking him about it. All over the world, what we have done or what we are doing has become something that people are interested in how we did it. I just addressed an Indian African conclave and asking me about financial modeling. How did you model it? Because you said it, not me. That we are not building a railway line, we are building a railway sector, and it includes a school,
the school in the BBI,
and that. Chief, railway time, we are making a railway today. Articulator.
And you see, from what I'm sharing on Facebook, like you see picture of, I suppose a school, no?
Yes.
This is the railway training school.
Yes.
Our hand.
Or it's called the location, but
location.
Man, it's not because it's my constituency.
No. Some location will be on your location.
Location.
Yeah, of course.
But show how it was before. Okay. Well, that was built in 1995.
Okay.
And it was like everything else in the railway, Oguikra. So, and the only lizards and snakes there. But yes, no. If you are going to build a sector, $1 billion sector, and you are talking railway here, even if we do only 3,000 kilometers as a nation, and it's getting to 4,000, and 1 kilometer is $6 million. How much is that? That's 18 billion.
That's huge. 18 billion.
Yes, but now it's even more than that. University, yes, you are one. Machazi wo Kivas, Machazi wo Legon, Machazi wo Law School. Me classroom to them that.
Yeah.
I even feel like going back to school from what I see.
And this was the state of the railway training school. Hey, now why are you there?
Yes, that was the state.
Wow.
And we transformed it. But a school is not only the buildings.
Yes.
The school is also what you do with it. So to my in there, we approached University of Mines and Technology.
Watakwa.
The 1 year in pay. No one mentor here. Then set up a school of railway and infrastructure development. So this was how I used to be. So yes.
Or say a crowd.
Totally. Nobody was there. It is not far. I know the place very well.
In the A1 location.
Location. So Takwafun, when you signed the MOU, and they see they've even appointed a dean into a school of railway infrastructure development. They are starting with 6 courses.
Okay.
Accreditation approve. There were my suggestions for the infrastructure. Library also take one some way. They give some so they are working on it. Hopefully January they'll start taking students. And what it will do also is that it will change the economy of Sekado completely.
That's
because
true. Hostels.
Look at Winneba.
Yeah.
Look at Cape Coast.
And even look at BU campus, Takrady Technical
Look at BU campus. Look at Oxford University.
Yeah.
I mean, just now, but even more than changing our economy and so on, we're going to train people for this $1 billion industry. Why do we need a railway school? Why do we have...
Honorable funding, doing this to the school, no funding if him, GOG. Fully funded by GOG.
Fully funded by GOG.
Yeah, but kawa hen.
Mura, made a mistake. Or like, I don't want to make a mistake, but to tell you the truth, President who first time in, he said, where did this funding come from? I said, Mr. President, it came from you. Ministry, the budget. And yes, it be.
What year the money?
You can, if you are a good manager of money, you can do very little with. You can do so much with very little. Friend of mine has a poster. I recommend it to you. He said, we have done so much with so little that we can now do almost everything with almost nothing. And it takes a kukudu revision. And Dayama said that railway workers, managing director, and as we have to change this place. They agree with me. But this is not going to be the only campus. Going forward in the Railway University, when it becomes also as
a full-fledged university,
and we are looking at 5-6 years.
Okay.
Takwa School of Mines, it was part of KNUST.
Yeah.
I'm looking at campuses in Kumasi area, Ashanti region, and one campus in the north.
Okay.
Because everywhere there's a major train intersection, like Tamale, like Kumasi area, where 3 lines will meet on Nazi. There'll be workshops and there'll be a lot of activity. Into a campus, it makes sense. Then you train people practically, because we won't have that kind of training. We'll train with theory and you're not doing practicals because the workshops and everything will be there. We've also repaired 2 of the workshops to start with.
Okay.
But the workshops look so nice there.
Because the last time I went there, not state now only.
Yeah.
And this was the terrible state there. So ain't no a proper location.
No, Chief. Senior Workers Association. Last 2 months, we had a program location.
Yeah.
And they invited me. The man sitting by me also retired 2014. Also, but when he got lost, when he entered location, he thought he wasn't at his place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
and she stayed a woman in the location where a railway workshop. Coaches ne bar no more and this is the state a woman. CCR wire.
Yeah, 2 of them. Ebu CCR. Yeah, 2 of them. The 2 of them wire. Me uncle because Namaza has his hotel. Workshop now in the hotel. I said
okay. That's the new
2 of them.
The states of location CCR.
Yes.
Wow. And so GOG.
100% GOG.
Budget to your ministry.
Yes. And yet to be a and then my ministry itself as a ministry. And Obi, all your paper crap or the higher to yes, development. Yeah, we are not for 2 years we're using for 3 years we're using our cars. But paper or by we are in the office. They to we use our home money because all our money we're putting it into the vision we had to start creating a modern railway sector. It's a combined sector. We are talking about training. And you're talking also about associated infrastructure. Let me tell you why. railway until there transport business or a transport business until there articulate or that eto tigo and eto them cars in Kakemia was here ubezi say what type here one is kakwapo between from young could be the mosca railway until there articulator a articulator business in Sika type here in his cover everyone to it's building the railway is one thing, sustaining it is another thing.
Another thing.
So there's no point in a government coming, a president coming like President Akufo-Addo, focusing on the railway, and then we build it in 5-10 years, and then the president is not there. Another president comes, so combine it back with transport, and then it deteriorates in another 5-10 years because it's expensive. Trains are expensive. So what are we doing? Associated infrastructure, and so the railway sector will take advantage of the railway to earn extra income. Let me explain to you. In Pakada line, a binuma approaching Ghanaian young men from Ghana with Singapore group B. Industrial area. The railway sector will have an interest in it. Because railway and Kowa, you couldn't have an industrial area there. So we have an interest in it. There are people who want to do real estate development at that side, near the water. We have an interest in it. There are people who want to do sleeper plants. So that's the infrastructure that goes along the rail line that is there because of rail line. We are not going to wait for it to happen. Next 4 years, if it's God's will and we are there and I'm there, that will be our focus. So at the railway itself we have a railway economy as we describe it, an economy which is based on the railway, which is related to the railway, which makes money for the railway. Because if you kill the railway, it's like killing the goose that loads the golden eggs. Or a railway na business abaho. It is a eku railway na or eku business or I want to rail line because of rail line in the next 4 years it's going to be exciting Obi and so I am coupon pair. The railway will transform Ghana again. Sure. When they started the railway in 1890, and this research is online, also London School of Economics now what started railway in 1898 was started because of gold. That time in the gold was who Ghana put. That thing was so.
Now what do you call?
So it was the western line that was started first. Now that time, don't forget that Tetekwashi, he had brought cocoa to Ghana in 1876. For some reason, between 1876 and 1898, it moved from that time the eastern province to the western province. No true one, farmers. It was peasant farmers. Cocoa on your cropper etum easy. Edua cocoa na ebiara anta etum enyo cocoa warenzi. It's a strictly a cash crop. It's not edible. So the farmers were carrying the cocoa on their head from Buasi, from Takwanum to the port. And Takwa did one load at a time. When they saw the train going up and down, they said, oh, we can use the train. So they increased their production. Obi, by 1930, the Gold Coast at the time, and Gold Coast at the time, don't forget, didn't even go further than Kumasi. About a quarter of Ghana had become the richest British colony. That is what the railway does
to the economy then.
And that is what the railway is going to do to Ghana's economy. It's going to completely transform our economy. Grow the iron and ore industry, industrialization, bauxite, manganese, reduce the price of carrying cocoa. It will reduce the cost of carrying all this transportation. It took me, I don't know how many hours. Kaswahi disaster. That's why, as part of our manifesto, and as part of the line of Elubu, also called, we are focusing first on the high density areas.
In the manifesto there, Kaswa through to Cape Coast, right?
Kaswa to Accra first. As part of that section.
Okay.
But I'm still the minister. I'll go beyond Kaswa. Since as traffic will do Burubura.
Kaswa and even over.
Kaswa Old Testament. Since it do Kaswa, you just create more traffic. So you have to go beyond Kaswa, and we are using Kaswa now as a first, as the first point. But yes, in phases. Once we have to reduce the cost of transportation, we have to reduce the time relating to transportation. More young could be our takradi, and what transfer all secondary. I know a company, Vodafone. I know what transfer background. What transfer background? Sebi only scar about high then will easily go on and baby. Into Kaswa. What's about 3-4 hours now trafficking? Also, on the bar, he has to wake up. When he goes to sleep, it's as if when he's sleeping, he's waking up. Also, open age 5, what do you feel by 9? Odufia by 3-4 those. I said, baby, so you can't get it there late. So he asked for a transfer back to second. Also, second D. Also, offer drop first one car and we do the
Yeah.
Upon trying to way no come back. Or more kinds of excuses than mommy was telling me this. I voted for another company.
Okay.
He worked for one of these big companies. But that's the point, Chief. We cannot be spending 5-6. Government is also determined to do light rail in Accra and its environs.
And that is another interesting point, yes. But even before we come there, because this whole thing about you expect Sky Train, and I saw a newspaper headline, Sky Train by 2020 or so. Yeah. It's something a man will be raised, and you will come there. Yeah. But from Honorable John Jenapo, colleague in Parliament, also Obi, ask the Honorable Joseph Ghartey, Honorable Joe Ghartey.
Tell him Joe, not Joseph.
Joe Ghartey. How many trains has Akufo-Addo bought and delivered in his 4 years? How many rail lines were initiated and completed in the last 4 years? We'll answer to him there then.
Well, my answer to him is very simple. That no government bought trains and delivered in 4 years. Akufo didn't buy trains and deliver in 4 years. John Mahama didn't buy trains and deliver in 4 years. Akufo-Addo has ordered 35 trains. And trains are not bought like cars. When you order, it takes 12 to 18 months for them to deliver the trains. You have to come to Parliament. So we've gone through the process. You have to go through procurement. And so I'm in a hurry, but I'm not in a hurry to break the law. So through the legal process, we have bought, it was passed by Parliament, he wasn't there that time, $230 million, 35 trains. What has happened is that the rail line, that's why I said 8 years. What we've started, I said just now, is about 300 kilometers. And that will be completed in the 8 years. You don't complete a rail line in 4 years. You start John Jenapo, the government he belonged to, in 8 years, they completed 15.6 kilometers.
15.6?
Yes, and bought 2 trains. In 4 years, they didn't, you know where it is.
Yeah.
It's from secondary, so.
Secondary to.
Yeah, so he should answer the question himself, and I also answer his question. I'm asking him that in his government, in 4 years, first 4 years, or even 8 years, how many trains they buy, how many they say, and he should stop everything. John Jenapo is my friend, but he just reduce everything to everything. I mean, he's having this energy argument always. Who did this? Who did that? I mean, you stop all these. The issues are bigger than that. It's about transformation of a country. I congratulate his government for doing 15.6 kilometers of railway line. But I shouldn't mourn if we are. I'm telling him that what is in progress would have done 30 years, 300 by the time, even if we don't do anything more. What has been initiated is more than 1,000.
Okay. Ekosiisen so nti Honorable Joe Ghartey no AD and Komo some few messages, and I come back to the issue of Sky Train. Na afi yako akwa other issues, but lot of messages here. Let me read a few ones. Na afi yensaimra obi we say, do you know that the previous administration took 7 whopping years to complete the 15 kilometers of secondary Takrady Suburban Rail narrow gauge when Uhuru Kenyatta was doing 375 kilometers from Mombasa to Nairobi in 5 years? Thank God the president and his most trusted disciple, Honorable Joe Ghartey, has done 102 standard gauge to salvage the beleaguered railway system. That's from Kabiyesi.
My disciple. I'm one of the disciples. you know, Jesus had the most trusted, the most loved, and so I'm just one of the disciples. And I'm a disciple. The president trained me when I was in school. I mean, I started.
Oh, okay.
My law
Your
practice.
law practice in his firm. Yes. Okay. Wait, so please tell Honorable that he has stopped sending me pictures and info. Edwin Phillips, Takrady.
Oh, Mr. Edwin Phillips was, in fact, he has a we have to deal with him. You see, Mr. Edwin Phillips was seeking to develop with us a foundry.
Okay.
A foundry will be able to build iron and all things, build parts for the railway and so on. So, Mr. Edwin Phillips, I assure you that it didn't come on the first 4 years. If you vote for us and we come back, and if God puts me back in the same place, the next 4 years the foundry will come on. I know that that one other ministry is doing a foundry. But I asked the minister, I know Minister of Science, I asked him that still should we do a foundry? He said, you cannot have enough of foundries. And I know that the location used to have a foundry, and we'll come back and do it again.
Okay. It's your birthday today, Bishop Prince Benny Wood. You are 50 years today. Happy birthday to you, Bishop. Coincidentally, what's an old saint, Bishop Prince Benny Wood. Happy birthday. Happy 50th. And 50 looks good on you. Trust me. Yes.
Also, that, you know, the first time standard gauge has been built is during the Akufo-Addo era.
Standard gauge rail line.
Yes. The 15.6 kilometers was narrow gauge.
Narrow gauge.
It was like the British gauge.
And narrow gauge and standard gauge. The difference there, the standard gauge, to me, echo speed. No,
only modern gauge, no. Modern Ghana. Narrow gauge, no. Only more year 1898.
Yeah.
In the idea, more year 1898. There was 2000 something. Why are they Mumbaka? They take a bold decision, say, you standard gauge.
Okay.
Wait,
sir, Obi, is it not refreshing that the minister is saying we shouldn't do politics with electricity? Yet he was here when his party was feasting on doom. So interesting times. Lucas Ewoko Obi, please. Let me see. Be frank with yourself and with your ardent listeners between these infectious and life-touching project by the sector minister and mortuaries. Which would you prefer? Your guess is as good as mine. Kudos, Honorable Minister Jomo Pokwase Festus and on the way Abraying. Yes.
Just to say something, you know, we are all politicians.
Yes.
But there are projects, there are things that extend past the term of a government. And me, when you do something good, I'll praise you. I never stop saying that the NDC did 15.6 kilometers. And as I said to you, that we are not going to condemn it. We are going to just transform it. It reduces, and every government must do a lot of work. I mean, if we manage to do in 8 years 1,000 kilometers, 2,000 kilometers, the next government after Akufo-Addo will also continue.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is, and that's the way I've always believed it should be. But also, coming to talk about light rail. Okay. We had a policy to do light rail.
Light rail.
You see, there's a difference between normal rail. That's the big one you see. And then inner city rail, that's light rail.
And the light rail.
The light
and
rail.
also the sky train. No?
Yeah, maybe. Light rail, no. Light rail, no. Wait to me. Light rail, no. You can use 3 different types. A bit of what is on the road.
Okay.
A bit of what are underground. And a bit of what are above the ground. The sky train, no, sky train, just a cohabitation, and when you license, no. It's just an elevated train.
Okay.
That particular company, without we're doing it, they have used that name to describe their train. Now, feasibility studies for Accra. The conclusion the consultants gave to us in there are several parts of Accra you can't put a train on the ground. Because of you can't even pay the compensation. Below the ground, Master, below you are flooding Osiwo, Accra below the ground, and below the ground is very expensive. So the best and the easiest way to go is to elevate it. Let me give you an example. Last 4 years, this 4-year term was passing. President gave me matching orders. They mean start the line to Cape Coast. You have Kaswa to start with. The last 4 years were passing. There was an Indian company called KEC. Most one brain proposal. First proposal was a brain hearing. Was it Yabafa through Achimota? Now you have N1 undo. And it means condemning one section of the N1. But can check contractor and the consultant there. I mean, the mere president. Then the minister for railway catch them there or condemn one section of N1. Yeah, cabinet. Let me easy. Or tell you as you on Tassi. Look at the congestion on the N1. Now the railway line but from one section. I told them I can't even take this forward. So give me another example. They gave me 2 options. One option is to elevate it, raise it, what we call the sky train. The other option is that they will go to Kotoku. Therefore, Kotoku, they'll go to Winneba. Let me tell you why they are going to Winneba. Because for Kotoku, it's a Sanaba to Kaswa, Weja, water. You can't go through the Weja water. It costs too much.
Okay.
So they'll go across the Weja water to Winneba and come back to Kaswa. About 100 kilometers. Kaswa, Epedeba, Accra. And you need a 100-kilometer train ride. So the best way is to elevate it. elevate it from Accra, center of Accra, to Kaswa. That's what we are looking at now. Sky Trading, a company approached us from South Africa that they want to build an elevated train, BOT, build, operate and transfer. 1 year signed an initial contract in 2018. The 2019, they need a concession agreement because African Exim Bank had agreed that they will put in a little funding, but they needed a concession agreement with us before the financiers will have confidence and then put money inside. Concession agreement, there was one dispute. What is the term of the concession agreement? What's the more on 30 years? Mr. Master, I'm Attorney General for nothing. I haven't practiced law for 30 years for nothing. 30 years, what is the basis? Because feasibility study was our moment. It is not the final feasibility study. There are a lot of gaps, and the term must be related to the amount. And see, if you can't agree with me, if you like cap it, catch them there, it will not exceed, let's say $1 million or whatever. If you cap it, I can sign with you. But now we are going to agree on the exact costing. Feasibility, initial feasibility, and bill of quantities with final designs. I can't agree to 30 years. We agreed there. You ever sign concession agreement. Now, there's a term to condition precedent. We offer a CP. When they finish their bill of quantities, then we agree on the term.
On the term.
They went to South. That was November in 2019. Most of the had to papers or had to social media.
The obviously Sky Train.
And the Sky Train. No, they call their train the Sky Train.
Oh, they call their train.
Yes,
Sky
Train. Okay. Sky Train. But yes, in the training, you move first station August 2020. Am I a madman? How can you sign a contract in 2019 and open a station in August 2019 November and open a station in 2020 August? But doesn't conquer Parliament. Uncle value for money all day. I know this is. I know the time it takes. That's why I don't blame the NDC when they built only 15.6 kilometers because it takes time. You have to do your studies and everything. You have to choose your contract. They brought Amandi. Luckily for us, since Amandi was already on the line, I told the president there, Mr. President, Amandi is on the line. NDC no one bay, they're already on the line. Moko PP and I'm catch on there. They built up to Kojo Chrome. We want to continue for Kojo. So it cut short our procurement process. So I thank them for that. But the Sky Train, I said, I can't agree. So they went to South Africa that they were going to come back with consultants to do the final bill of quantities. You cannot do the final bill of quantities on Google Map. You have to come onto the ground.
On the ground.
We had COVID.
So they couldn't come.
They couldn't come.
And still one bay.
We are 1 month away from election. Just nothing is happening in my ministry. Every investor is waiting to see what will happen after election. Nothing is happening in my ministry now. Nobody is going to sign it. I will not sign any major contract at this time. Yes. And if they come, if they haven't finished the bill of quantities, it hasn't gone for value for money audit, I will not sign
that contract. No,
I will not. As the concession agreement has not taken effect, I won't let it take effect. I won't take it for Chief. Ghana, minister, and they also kado because I am a lawyer over 30 years practice. So when I see any contract, I look at it well. So I say that if you haven't brought your final bill of quantities, there will be no
contract.
No, there's a contract, but it will not take effect.
It will not take effect. Okay.
But they are not the only people who are interested in an elevated train. I've received several proposals for elevated train, even to Kaswa, from KEC, from a French company. There's another company from China that was to do an elevated train. So, if God willing, next 4 years, if we want to do light rail within Accra, at some point it has to be elevated.
It has to be elevated. Okay. There are some few messages, and then we do a little bit of constituency politics near the Esina Yama Okwanma Echo.
I'm a Kwama Sanako constituency before number because of you.
Oh,
yes.
On the Yadasi.
Also, Yamisha.
Ace, some residents in Eshim are frustrating the work on the Takwa line because of non-payment of compensations. What is the ministry doing about this to ensure the work progresses and completed within schedule? Are you aware?
Yes, I'm happy that you bring that up. And can I comment on it? Okay. I was watching TV when I became a minister. And Al Jazeera were showing that they were trying 18 people in Kenya for land issues.
Yeah.
They were working and they said they had inflated the cost of that. Luckily for us, our constitution is clear. Our constitution states that compensation must be paid, and compensation, the process that compensation is paid is through the lands. The land, it's through land.
Ekosiisen
It's through
on
the land, Ministry of Lands and so on.
Yes.
Well, whether the residents in Ishema frustrating us or not because of politics, the guess as good as mine. Some people tell me that because of politics. I said, the chief, oh, you Ishema Mamu constituency. Yeah, crow. It's my Pakada line. Akwamu chief and the Yellow Crow chief. What's in there? Issues to do with Kwame Nkrumah's compensation have not been resolved.
Yeah.
It's one man in sea line. Yeah, cry, yeah, capon chow. One of the chief, Yellow Crow chief, my Crow chief, ne sub CCB or a sofu. Mu pay pados yankupon yonam. Mr. Why? Also, and I joined there, maybe be they all allowed me. It's a shameful. It will be paid. Since there are some ways in there, why be evaluation? And the good thing about it for everybody in there, just now, compensation is part of the contract sum. Contract BIA will put an amount aside for compensation. What you war environmental impact, social environmental impact
assessment.
Yes, assessment. It includes persons affected by the project. Until they do an estimate, it's everybody will be paid. But Mr. Me too. I don't catch and I can check about the scale or more. I don't. If I had the money, I will get. What's NDC card? Okay, me. Now, if I had the money, like I'll give it to them. But the money is not with me. It's a must one. It will be done. A shame. A shame will become the center of security. Dangote, look at the free zone.
I said, "Honor free zones, no one."
Chief,
a shame.
I can just see a shame in 20 years' time. A shame. The value of their land was as we enemy in shame and because within 5-10 years in a shame and station be Yezibi's design of station Yezibi's shame
railway station
chief Ebugwan or Susan or your Fiosin on also Sintaqua simple. And say master is shameful as he Yeziba if he Yeziba or was a or one in there is frustrating when you haven't paid your compensation by to be paid. I mean Ghartey. Mo asase kakra bi wo esiput Ghana gas for perform asase twado pano Mr. Demisem mana wotiam sometimes we wotiam compensate the law must take its course man kada me minister say mo fra Peter Amewu on kan Ghana gas te umutia mam the thing I can't just call Ghana Railway Development Authority me and empower bakade me is shameful me wana ye
wa collude na
what they will say it's a whole crap. I must even keep a bigger arm's length situation.
What about this departments agencies are here no one that ministry
it is a question or two but one of the things that must happen, God willing, if we have a next term in there, one of the focus will be looking at the institutional and legal framework. Chief, okay. Petroleum sector. First, it was only GNPC. CCR, because it grew.
Yeah, Petroleum Commission
and so on, energy conservation. Actually, this area, communications. First, it was only
NCA.
There was no NCA, chief. It was Post and Telecommunication, Ghana Post, and they divided. So every sector where there's money coming into, we must look at the leadership. But Ghana full being what they are, some of Ghanaians, not all it. You start to talk about law. What can I say? Yes, is a man for lawyer for engineer. But the legal institution framework is the foundation. Yeah, there's a story I heard. I don't know whether it's true or not. What's it? At the Walt Disney, he bought a Disneyland.
Yeah,
he was asked by a journalist that which is your biggest invention, Disneyland or Mickey Mouse? Because also no create the cartoon in the Michigan. Also none of the above. The journalist was shocked. So, which he said it is what the institution that I created that enabled me to create both of these things.
Both of them.
It's like asking the owner of any media house, which is the biggest station, which is your biggest invention. It's the institution that enabled you to give birth. It's in the next 4 years.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
For example, Tema Wagadugu line. Tema Wagadugu line, it must be a separate company.
Yeah.
Because it's a joint venture between us, the Burkina government, and a strategic investor. It cannot be part of our railway
system already, architecture already.
No, it can't. And see, a lot hopefully is going to happen. The law must change. We must create new laws. We must create arbitration tribunals where people. I mean, the things that have to change.
So currently, the Ghana Railway Company
And the Ghana Railway
And a
Development Authority.
Development Authority.
Yeah.
And the Development Authority na share infrastructural project we
Yes.
Okay, and a railway company no.
Air running railway.
Omo running line ben sisia.
Sisia, one running in Suta line. No.
The
Freight.
Insuta.
What happened is you buy no. There were 2 runs. There were 3 lines running.
FM.
There was the famous secondary
Yes.
Kojokrom line.
Kojokrom to
Then
Takrade.
passenger. Then there was the Suta line running.
Okay.
Now the Suta line in 2016, 2017, it was derailing twice a day. Twice a day there was derailment, but because it was a passenger, it's on the passenger line. Nobody hears about it. Then there was also the Accra Tema line and the Accra Sound line.
Asempa FM.
The line had collapsed until by the first year now the train no really were Achimota. So I had to close the Accra Tema line. Accra and Sound line, I sent some of my people onto the station. I think it was either Asempa or GH1. Also I sent people on the line the same day.
Yeah.
Train Okon, Poto.
Yeah.
Poto will train Monoko. So we closed that line down as well. Now, niya narrow gauge. So the question is somewhere there. Should we just kill it? Or we should we have only 4 trains, only 4 passenger trains, so there's nothing much. But we decided to do 2 things. Rehabilitate sections of the narrow gauge. We are not going to build any new narrow gauge. So that the workers have something to do first of all, so I continue serving the people.
Yeah.
So we rehabilitated Accra Tema and we fixed the bridge at Achimota and we're running it. We rehabilitated Accra in Sawum and we rehabilitated Takrady to Takwa. So by March this year, all these lines were running. Then COVID came. We tried to use social distancing. I got a report from the railway company there. What was the policemen, but they are fighting with the police that they won't allow. So we closed down all the lines.
All the lines.
We have reintroduced at secondary Takrady. They are doing the test on Accra Tema.
Ekosiisen on Asempa
It said
FM.
something to me that has always I've always thought about it. What's in a road? A road can be 45 degrees. Railway, or 1 millimeter off tracker, it can overturn the train. And the trains who say, when you accident, I know a derailment, more people die. So I must be very careful. Close lining from March to now. Before they reopen it, they must work on it.
They have to work on it.
So they say yesterday or so, they are testing the Accra line, and then they'll continue testing the other lines, and they will reintroduce them one after the other and say maybe we're doing.
Oh, okay. And what it means, for the workers at the railway company, this is one Aketiasem, because that was one major thing.
6 months, you ever pass 5 months and won't you on cause this is not a problem. They have their salary ahead of time. Government has
Ghana Railway Company.
and I miss MD offers this as my years in Gapoa.
No.
The amount of money that the capital injection that was given to them takes care of them. I mean, salary is not a problem. And bear in mind that when I became a minister to 18, we have increased their salary by about 50%.
For Ghana Railway Company.
Yes. Charlie Chief, the MD was earning less than, I don't know whether it was.
Oh, I say Yaka was Kaya. 500 Ghana.
No, 2,000. Sure, Massa. Massa. That time, 2,000. Massa. Hey, now I'm also a cool. Now, if you Western every day. I know 2,500, 500. John, yeah. Pass every day, Mura.
Yeah, did if I know you 2,000.
So we've increased it allowance now. But there are, I won't say there are some issues that I'll say myself. One of the issues is the question of pensioners. Pensioners, my uncle is a pensioner. But I mean, railways, workers, they are people.
Yeah.
Pensioners, they will get some compulsory retirement be in 2006. And what happened in there? They laid some workers off, and they paid them. They came to some agreement and they paid them some money.
Okay.
2006, 2013, NDC Bank, they also paid them some money, but they went back to court and said that the calculation was wrong. And I'm a lawyer, so if the calculation is wrong, it's wrong.
Yeah.
And they won in the High Court, and railway company appealed to the Court of Appeal, and railway company did not follow the appeal process, so it was struck out for want of prosecution, and railway company has applied for them to release the appeal. I've told the board that there must be an end to litigation. So their lawyer, they've appointed a new lawyer, must advise the board whether they owe or not. You don't go to court for the sake of going to court. If they owe them, then they can advise me. Then we can see whether they can pay themselves or whether we can get capital injection.
Okay.
And in fact, I've had this discussion even with the president and with the finance minister, but I'm in a difficult situation.
Mm-hmm.
The advantages because I come for them, there are disadvantages. Some push BB too much. Was you can I want to say that I've been assured by the board director that the board is considering it at the next board meeting.
Okay.
The pensioner issue, so it will be solved. I can't promise that we'll sort it out before the election, but I will continue working hard to make sure that it is solved. I'm 100% behind them. With radio stations, we almost was the second watch it or more. They're trying to be a millionaire. Isn't it?
What was it then?
Okay. Tell you all this time, want to use that. What's that? Oh, you're junior parliament. No, I'm no, boss, but that's up to you.
Ekosiisen, I asked FM.
See, by this time.
I asked him, Honorable Joe Ghartey, and I'm saying, James Kwabena say, tell my friend Honorable Joe Ghartey that he is acquitting himself honorably. I love his sense of honesty, simplicity, and courage to deal with nagging contractual propaganda upfront without being economic with the truth. Honest political communication is a plus. James Kwabena Bonfair. This one says,
otherwise known as Kabila.
Kabila, yeah.
Oh, that's my boss.
Okay. We say the ministry has done a very fantastic work on 2 of the location structures in the Secado. What is the plan to rehabilitate the rest? And what's the plan for their completion and usage? Rehabilitation works on the Takwa line truncated the Takwa passenger rail services. Many rail enthusiasts were super excited when the passenger services started. What is the status of the rehabilitation works? And when is the passenger services likely to be restarted?
That's very interesting. Let me just first talk about this thing. Since may rehabilitate on a narrow gauge too. Mark a standard gauge.
Yeah.
Now all as a New Testament. Now all the contracts we've signed now, that is the contract with Amandi.
Yeah.
It includes a new workshop. Into the 5 out of the 7, 5 workers only you standard gauge. Narrow gauge. Secondly, the person made a very good point. Yes, the last time train Okotakwa passenger train was 2004. Yesterday, Takwa passenger train a day, 1 week, 400 packed. I don't know whether the pictures.
Yeah, we picked live reports from the train.
It was totally packed. But since what is happening there? Because of the Amandi working, that we should close down the line for 1 month.
Okay.
So the question that we are looking at, and I'm sure railway they should advise me, is that say you operate them line in or disturb construction. So do we continue operating the line and stop 1 month now? Stop now. And one other thing in there, train is about reliability. If a train, after 1 month, now they stop. Now it takes time. When they come back online, people will not join. So the senior figures in the industry are looking at it to advise me, what should we do with that passenger line? And the same thing is going to happen to the Accra Tema line, because this year, negotiate for them to start from this line. Once they start in, we may have to stop operating the line. And so what I would say to Ghanaians in there, we should all be patient. Within 3 years, we'll move from the Old Testament to the New Testament.
To the New Testament.
The New Testament came about during the time of Jesus Christ. It was 3 years. So I'll give them the same period. Within 3 years, we'll move our Old Testament.
Honorable Joe Ghartey, and can we should be bringing our interview to an end. Nana Ekawo grandfather. Next friend then.
J.H. Bisu, great grandfather. J.H. Bisu. Bisu House.
Bisu House.
Opposite post office.
Okay.
Or European town.
Okay. In the office. No. Onufi Noah.
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, then it it relates Charles Bisiwa.
Yeah, Bisu Funya has a Western food. We are together.
Okay.
I will not deny him.
No, but like familiar relationship.
Bisu, Bisu Fun, Ahantafa, Ebinum War, Ebinum War, Ishim, Ebinum War, offend and painting, Ebinum War, Cancer World. And you know that Bisu, as in the Bisu, Meyankuya and the Mimo Parliament, NDC parliamentary candidate from Bechim.
Yes.
Hanabisu.
Okay, Hanabisu.
Only Bisu a W. The spelling is different.
Yeah.
and yes, BISSUE. This is not a very common name.
Okay.
It's a one stock.
Okay.
We had a famous footballer called Bisu. He was from Impinton.
Okay.
Yeah, Bisu for the Adokura.
Yeah, that BCU guy, Obo Wise. Yeah.
This is
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Bisu Oya as the railway Oya as the guy be railway and as the Bisu Obama against pa. Ne as the Obe ne BBC ne and the law took his course.
Yeah.
But they asked that we should temper justice with mercy. He was an electrician. He made a mistake. As then they asked us to temper. He's not the only person.
Okay.
Chief, if he hasn't, so sometimes, a lot of times, you temper justice with mercy.
Temper justice with mercy.
And he went to my uncle, Bisu of Takoradi, New Takoradi. Bisu, there's another group of Bisus in New Takoradi. The New Takoradi chief, former New Titapo, he's my grandmother's brother.
Oh, okay.
And I knew, but he didn't know. So he went, I think he found out I went to my uncle. I told him that but anyway, whether we are tempering justice with mercy.
Okay. Obi pedo who the status of abandoned coaches, Chief Binding so said my fine Ekonfi brother senior Joe Aiko, but change is coming 7th December 2020. Chief Binding, a deputy national organizer of the NDC.
Tell Chief Binding that the only change that will come,
Ekosiisen on
if he's not careful with that,
FM.
his wife will leave him because he will lose again. Only I'm praying for him because I mean nobody wants to marry a loser. So, well, you know, lose you.
Wow, that's interesting. But honorable constituency to then
Oh, Bibi Aboko.
a form year.
Mother, it has never been better. See,
You sure about that?
I'm facing the weakest candidate ever, and I'll tell you why. I won't tell you now because do you know why I won't tell you now? Why? Because a coco boxing and Tyson also about knock out. He don't tell you how. You know, he just tell you the round. I'm very, very sure about it. See, at any day, Moko European town. Don't say when you are. Me you can say call your Kojokro market. Masa, let me tell you something. Yeba power as maybe minister and maybe MP. Sorry, 2005 to 2008, President Kufona Abedo. I just talk about roads. That time, and the second D, sorry, Iskadu to Kojokro, there was no road there. And if Iskadu a pedeko Kojokro, I come for second D, and there's a Kojokro. Masa, Iskadu and Kojokro next to each other, and a road through Iskadu and Kojokro.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Manani Kromino, Ekowa, Ekoni, Eto Santa, it's Santa is Asa, if a train drew and they send Afro.
Yeah.
Ishim had no road. The road in front of the European Isipun, that road, it didn't exist. Yeah, me Afraban. If you take radio, if it's got your back, you have a transport, then contact radio, you have a transport. They try you from Confuasi.
Yeah.
And over far Isipun road in on all the call. There were no road within 4 years. Yeah, it's got the road in. Yeah. Mokro. The Injesia was it? There was a big rock in Injesia road. Road into Shame. Shame road in most in there. That time the regional minister Yamwa. Now also road Kono Chrome. Umpo this side and go that area. Now you do have a plane go or therefore is a mean boom and I pray. Luckily for me, we be missiding and sana. You lose the up to date. And it's for 8 years old, when two men do maso. Chief, the amount of development, it's may ye catch and go for your car and catch and go, yes, someone. 1 2 mom, president, ye buy a number of things. Even the railway that NDC built. I know Chokojo Chrome into 2. You Chokojo Chrome catch and they straw. Ye bridge over the thing. Or send a Sisia in ya you good side, Kojo Chrome Papa. And a chap in the school ya or go in Pentesu area. You two couple, or send you do a cross railway line. We did a bridge over. Yasan ya road in ye. Me oka say Kansawodu road. Nobody had even thought about doing Kansawodu road. Kansawodu to Mampon 6.2 kilometers ya. For Mampon, it's a new contract. The contract is for Mampon. It's a new contract, and that contract is going to be done by Cocoa Board. cocoa board no will continue. What I call hunter basa bumper no nazia. It's a chief. A Juma here in the past 4 years in people is the same reason why President Nana Akufo-Addo is going to win a resounding victory. So it's 4 more for Nana, 4 more for Joe Ghartey. Yankopon is sure.
Well, it's a card and Joe Ghartey and the and Kano. Ekosiisen to the higher Sempa 94.7 FM and the lawyer Joe Ghartey and Moten and MP for Esikado Ketan constituency. In some bebrina, messages ni bebrina aba. But make us say lawyer Andre Japamesa MP for second year Tenase, former MP Adenta constituency. Honorable Kojedu Asare, Swaba Beka and Sa Ewo studio ha. Enti Muma Yentie we Emra Yeba. We have a lot to talk about. Mon try me basisia.